This episode of A Conversation with John Conenna is sponsored by Generate. In today's digital age, staying ahead means harnessing the power of generative AI. Wondering how your small or medium-sized business can join this revolution? Look no further than Generate, your strategic partner for integrating cutting-edge generative AI solutions. We create personalized plans, adapting existing AI technologies to fit your specific business needs. Plus, our expert team provides essential training, empowering you to make the most of these innovative technologies. Interested in transforming your business with AI? Reach out to us at generateteam@gmail.com. That's generate, GENERAIT, team@gmail.com. And now, on with the episode.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of A Conversation with John Conenna. Today, it brings me great pleasure to bring in a lady that's, we're both the same age, so we're showing our age, but in the sense of good. She's been around for basically 50 years, entertaining the city of Chicago and a lot of different venues, even outside of Chicago. For me, she's Chicago's star entertainer. She's been called many great things. The Queen, just legendary in the sense of the community and other communities and even local things. It brings me great pleasure this morning to bring in Stella Raimondi. Stella, what's going on with you?
John, thank you. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. This is a pleasure. This is really
great.
Nice.
This is great.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, we all have a passion. So now this passion and this thing that you've done for all these years in my opener here today, when do you remember when somebody might have said to you, what a beautiful voice, ma che bella voce, or how does it start?
Well, for me, started very, very early. I was probably 5 years old in kindergarten, and we were, we had a recital, and my mom, she brought me there. I went to Santa Maria Dolorata, Bascia Grande Avenue.
Grande Avenue.
Grandin Ogden.
Grandin Ogden.
Grandin Ogden, that's where I was born, around that area. My parents migrated there when they came from Trigiano. But so I was like the loudest voice in that group singing. And I just loved to sing. My parents always had music on. They both were they loved to sing and they loved music. So I just grew up with music. I don't even know what it is to be without music in the air, like always. So I was just singing at 5 years old. But then my mom, we moved then after that. In 1967, we moved to Chicago Avenue, Our Lady of the Angels Parish, which was very heavily Italian at the time. A lot of Italian people, and they had an Italian mass. And I was about 11 years old, and hey, the man, Sunday, you better get up. Let's go. I was the only girl. I had 2 older brothers, so I was always with my mom. So I went to the church and I was singing with her. She loved to sing, my mother. And the soprano, she was the music director there. She says, Signora, io non venderei la voce di tua figlia, nemmeno se mi dessero $1,000,000. I wouldn't sell your daughter's voice, even if they gave me $1 million.
Wow.
So it was a great boost for me to hear that, and gave me a lot of confidence. And I would be singing at the Italian masses, doing harmonies and doing the solos, and just had fun with that. And then there was a lot of bands were forming, and that, as I said, was very heavily Italian. They were all coming from Italy. They were all bringing those beautiful songs from Ipu and all of that.
Yes.
And a lot of bands were forming. So Nick Raimondi, which is my husband's brother, sorry, he passed 20 years ago, but he invited me in the band. He said, listen, Stella, we need a girl singer in the band. So I joined Leonde. Now, Leonde already started in 1970.
Yeah, it was called Leonde at the first, right? Leonde.
Yeah, it was Leonde. It was Leonde, Vito Iacoviello, Angelo Castellucci. The drummer then was Nick Raimondi, then later became Vito Raimondi. My husband was in the band.
Reno.
That's right. Reno was in the band. Nino Campobasso We were all buddies. The only one that was Romano was Angelo, and I don't want to miss anybody. That's it. Those were so we were 6 members with myself, including myself, and we would practice. I'm telling you. So I got in the band 76.
1976. That's why I say next year we're talking 50 years.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
And I got to tell you, tell me if I'm wrong, because growing up, just like you and me, we went to all these Italian weddings. And I remember those early bands, Quintetto Blue, the Premiers, all those bands. You were really the innovator of bringing the girl into the forefront, the lady.
Well, you know what? It was actually, I have to say, it was my brother-in-law. Now, he invited me in the band. At the time, my mother, she was my wind, my wings, and she was the one that says, "You don't worry, you do it." My aunts and my grandmother, they were against me singing or going into a band with 5 other members, with 5 other guys. Because ma just a forte, aperta figo, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing over
your daughter? And my mother said, if not 5 minutes, if a lady, she could be with a whole battalion of soldiers. She's got to be good. You got to work. And so she was my cheerleader, and my father was too. I must say, my father was too. God rest. I loved. They both really supported me very much. And then, I met my husband in the band. I got in the band. I remember my first performance.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what was that first performance where you said, okay, we've been practicing. Was it a wedding, a shower? What was it?
It was a wedding. It was at Chateau Royale on Chicago Avenue. That was a very popular venue at the time. And I only opened with 2 songs. I think it was like August, the 23rd of August. I even remember the date. So I get on there and I did a song from I Cugini di Campagna.
Okay.
And I did a song from, it was like a disco song, then I'm telling you now, here you are. I mean, the whole disco era, Donna Summer, all those songs.
It was smoking hot then. Yeah, it was smoking hot.
That's it. So we had them all. There were no DJs. So we did them all. And not only the weddings, we did the communions, everything, the baptisms. I mean, every single Italian event was a big fat Greek wedding at the time. I mean, it was big. They would make them big, and they had to have the band. So we were busy, and we practiced twice a week. We always learned whatever was up in the 70s in the United States and the Italian material. So we were always, that was our niche, the Italian music.
Right.
And, like I said, so we did all the Italian. We always were up to date with all of that. And that was great because, all the people that were here from Italy loved that they were continuing their culture, and the Italian was still there. Yeah.
But the biggest thing here was, I think, and I'm always going to go back to you, was you. Because now here's this lady, here's this young girl, when does the progression start from this wedding at Casa Royale? When do you say, hey, did you hear about Raimondi? Were you getting feedback? Because then there was no Google. There was no thing. This was referral.
All word of mouth. And I was really flattered that the brides or the people, having their weddings, they would base their wedding date on our availability. If we were available, they would set the date. And we were booked 2 years in advance at the time.
Wow.
2 years in advance. And they made sure we need to know when you're available. And that's when we could set the wedding date. And then they would move on to get their venue and move on to get the church or the church and the venue, of course. So that was very flattering. I mean, it was crazy because Stella, we need to know when you guys are, if you guys are available, because we want to get married, in a couple of years. It's crazy. It was, I was very flattered. Yeah.
I mean, that in itself, you were basically like the banquet hall. Okay, back in those days, if it was Ferrara Manor or if it was Fontana d'Or, you had to book it so far in advance. So you guys probably are another first call for these people. Hey, let's see if Leon, what's it called? Leonde and then Leonde featuring Stella Raimondi?
No, it was always Leonde. Really, it was always Leonde. It was always Leonde. At the time, for 20 years. And then in 96, A few of my members, they ventured out in another band. And so Enzo Scarano then came in the picture about
Yes.
95. And I'll be singing with him this year will be 30 years.
30 years
Yeah,
with
30
Enzo.
years. I can't even believe it.
I
He
was gonna
came
bring him up toward the end because I knew you do like this dinner and
duet.
and all this
Yeah.
kind. But again, what a classy gentleman Enzo is too. Had the
Yeah.
thing to
Very
see him in
talented.
shows with on Dominican Seaman. So now here you are. This becomes now because I remember you working. I first met you at a place called Capital Bank.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I first met you there, and I would say to myself, wow, she works a full-time job. And then I'm seeing you at somebody's wedding on a Saturday and Sunday. One time I saw you 3 times in a row. I,
Right. We
you,
played a lot. We played a lot. It was always a weekend thing, you know. We really weren't restaurant. We didn't do restaurants, the band.
right, yeah.
It was always big venues. And, it was a filet and lobster ordeal. I mean, at all the weddings, they were really high end, I must say. I mean, few of them, when you go to Wisconsin or everything, little, but still the Porretta's weddings and all that, they were always weekends, and they were always high end. One of my band members told me, Stella, I never ate dinners like the gigs you book. Those were the best dinners. Those the American musicians, they played with me, they loved it because they were fed so well. I'm just saying, just because they did it up. They did it up so beautifully. There was unforgettable celebrations that I've have experienced, and so special to be a part of.
Oh God, and we'll never see that again, Stella. Stella, I have to ask you, because not only the passion which is coming out here in these first 10 minutes of this conversation,
right?
You had the voice. Did you have to keep learning to get more involved with the voice? Meaning,
I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm glad you brought that up. I sang 17 years without one voice lesson.
Wow.
Yeah, 17 years I was singing without a voice lesson. What happened was I had to bring my daughter. I was trying to get her into piano lessons. My Angelica, both my daughters were into, I tried to give them a little piano lessons, but more for the brain, because it's the exercise of playing, learning an instrument is good for you.
Sure.
Good for the brain, So I didn't want to wait, go home, and come back. And there was a vocal teacher right in the same building. I said, you know what? I'm going to go get a few lessons, So I went in. She was, listen, I'm not going to change your style. I'm just going to give you a few, exercises and things like that. It helped me immensely because I learned to use my whole body to sing. That's why singing, it's an acquired skill. You have to really be disciplined. I'm not supposed to drink the day before I sing. I shouldn't, and I'm a big wine drinker, as you know. I don't sing. I don't drink anymore. When I'm at a party, I don't drink anything, and then I'll tell the bartender, hey, listen, before I end the night, 12 o'clock, pour me a glass of wine, because I won't, because we need everything. The whole body is involved with the voice and singing. If you're going to sing correctly, I mean, and everything. So basically, I was very, very glad I did that because it helped me immensely. And now here we are, 34 years later. And I don't want to jinx myself. I tend not to jinx myself. I don't want to, I'm always prepared. I want to be prepared with vocally singing well. So basically what I'm saying is that 17 years without a voice lesson, and now 33 years later, it's helped me immensely,
I thank you for bringing this up because, 17 years without being, and now you have this coach. How did you take it? Did you take it constructive, meaning, okay, what does she know? Or did Stella Raimondi go in there with an open mind and say, wow, I've never done this. This is going to be good for me.
The reason is because it's like a science. Basically, the coach would teach me to use different parts of the head voice, the chest voice. Sure. I mean, different things that you don't know. And basically, some things that it's great, to learn. So knowledge is power. And that helped me a lot, But of course, you don't want to, you don't want to change your style.
Your
You know,
style.
of course, I was inspired by many artists growing up. So, you get a style of everybody. I loved Mina. I loved Marcella, growing up, listening to all that Italian music. So, of course, all entertainers somehow like start with listening to another artist and, being inspired by them and kind of mimic them some. But then you create your own style and
You
then you're
create
yourself.
your own style. And I got to
Exactly.
tell you, here's the style that people, and again, this is great that you're bringing this up because people always think, oh, yeah, I can get up there, sing like Stella. No, you can't because you were doing two things for me. You were doing two things in the sense of this. You were singing, and this Stella Raimondi likes to dance to
Oh,
what she's singing. Okay. So people don't zero in on that. You can't believe how many times I was at venues and I would be like, wow, she can, you can move. You can tell when somebody can move, you can tell when somebody can't move, but you moved. I compared you, and I want you to know this. This is the compliment I will give you this in this thing. You were like the early Gloria Estefan. You were an homage to Estefan.
thank, oh wow, thank you. Yeah, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I loved.
Did you
We did a lot.
incorporate that into your thing, Stel? Where
We did a lot of Estefan. We did a lot of Gloria, Miami Sound Machine. We did a lot of them. Well,
oh
once
yeah,
again, like I said, 80s, 90s, we did a lot of her material. She was kind of like the same tone voice. We didn't
yeah,
even have to change the keys. The music was great. It was great dance, conga, rhythm is gonna get you. And then everything was live. There were no tracks at the time. Everything was live. And which was great, and it's totally different now. You get a lot of bands that they're playing over tracks. They're playing, they're performing, but they're going over the tracks where
right.
everything was live at the time. We really worked. We got in the basement 2 days for 2-3 hours a night. Tuesdays and Thursdays practice. Weekends we were out. We were at our gigs, and we really learned our material. We were ready. We made ourselves ready, and it was just very satisfying and rewarding because the outcome of the nights were great. People would come by and just, I mean, you made the day, you made the night. The band,
Oh,
style of it was great. It was just so rewarding, and it was fulfilling, and it still is. It still is now. That's why I love it still, and I still enjoy it because we still can try to continue to just make these celebrations unforgettable.
I will say one more thing, and then I want to talk about peaks and valleys of your business. I
Yes.
was at a place, an old place called, which is no longer there. It was a small place. It was called Enzo's Ristorante on Higgins and Harlem. And
Yes.
you closed the night with the version from Gloria Estefan of Turn the Beat Around, which was the original Vicky Sue Robinson. You
Right.
sang it twice and left at 1 o'clock in the morning. You brought the house down in that small place. I thought the bricks were going to come off the building.
Oh, right.
It was
Oh,
fantastic. You remember I was always singing that song.
yeah. Thank you. It was great.
It was
Great. Thank you.
unbelievable, unbelievable.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we did a lot. Well, disco. I mean, we're still doing
Oh,
all that. I mean, we're still doing all of that. Now it's timeless,
it's
and
timeless.
that's what it is. It's timeless music, and that's what we're doing. I mean, we're bringing a lot of the old stuff still back. I mean, stuff that was like 40, 50 years ago. We're still bringing that music back because it's timeless, and we're just twisting it. We're just making it a modern twist, making it our own, doing a few
Yes.
different arrangements. And that's what I love about Enzo right now. I just got on, I bring him up because, he's part of the
Oh, sure.
music. And so basically, we'll still keep the classics going, but he just rearranges them and people still appreciate them with different rhythms, different things. It's amazing. And it's beautiful because it's how colorful this music is that we're
Oh,
making.
sure. And I got to tell you, both of you accomplished entertainers. I mean,
Thank you.
there's a
Thank you.
seriousness to Enzo, and of course, there's a seriousness to you. I have to tell you, I feel just like all of us in life, you've had to reinvent yourself a lot during these 50 years, right? You had to go with what the times were bringing, like you say, even though we're playing this timeless music and everything. Did you have to see the different types of things that went on?
Absolutely. Yeah,
To
absolutely.
adapt to the
Absolutely.
change.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We, of course, we want to grow, and we always want to, once again, grow with whatever music is out there. But, I mean, I'm not going to do rap. I mean, I can't do, I mean, you have to wear the dress that fits you. So if this is what fits me, this is what I got to do. You know what I mean? So, but basically, of course, we want to continue to grow. We have to. We have to
Sure.
continue to grow with the times and with the music and what people want. So, like I said, I mean, it's changed. It's changed. We're not working. I'm not working as much because we used to be a big celebration, big event, band, and then pandemic hit too. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
we did a few. I mean, I don't want to, but we did a few weddings in the pandemic. I mean, when it just opened, and then we brought in the 5-piece band. You know, again, whatever they like. You know, we'll bring whatever even what the budgets are, what the people want. But it seems like that's what we're right now. It's more we headline the outdoor festivals, some
Right.
restaurants. We just right now I'm just booking a lot of restaurants. We're
Yeah.
doing dinner dances, whatever's needed, and I like it. I like it. I mean, we used to play a lot. We used to play a lot. Where sometimes it was like on a Sunday. We played on 4th of July years ago, and it's like, oh, I didn't want to go to the gig. It was like I was smelling the barbecue.
The barbecue.
Yeah, the barre sausage was going next door. Hey, I go, no way. I go, I don't want to go to the gig. I want to celebrate the 4th of July. I mean, I'm just saying there's sacrifices too,
Sure.
but yeah, it is what it is.
The commitment, and of course now this seems to be the thing. We see a lot of the other entertainers too doing the same thing. The restaurants, the this, the that, the little venues. I love that you do that dinner music now when I'm seeing you at different places. With Enzo now, of course, you're not practicing 2-3 times a week, are you?
No.
Yeah.
We are not. But, I must say, once again, I'll throw out a song and I'll say, hey, listen, I like this song, bring it down. But of course, we will probably have like one rehearsal like every 2-3 months. And then we'll put like a nice set list together and focus on that. But yeah.
Sure.
I mean, it's all about the song list too, and basically, we got to throw out a lot of new stuff too, because you have to change it up. It's like la minestra; you can't eat the same.
Yeah, we got to change it. Yeah, lunedì, martedì, mercoledì, all these days a week. We don't want to be eating the same thing. Exactly. I have to ask you, because the biggest thing for me, besides work, I was working and I was coaching hockey for many years, and I was a very loud talker on my bench for my players. How was it? Was it scary for you all the time that, here's that common cold that could affect that beautiful voice? Did you go through a lot of, oh, guys, I just got a sore throat on Thursday and you got this 500 wedding on a Saturday?
I did.
What did you have to go through to get that voice right?
I did. It happened to me. Thankfully, it happened to me once in the whole career where I really could not sing.
Oh,
and I just couldn't do it. Yeah. But now I'm very, actually now I'm just actually getting over a sinus.
Sure.
But and just a month ago, I sang for one of my dearest friends. I love her, Angie Glory. Sang for her mom's. I sang for mom's funeral, and I had a terrible, terrible cough, and I said, "Oh my God, dear Lord, are you going to be with me?" And I have to say, thankfully, I sang very well, and I went through it. It was well. I prepared, tried to drink a lot of tea, try to prepare myself, and just try not to cough. Coughing is no good, but well, like I said, you always get that fear, but I have to say, she came out for me. So thank God. Thank God.
Thank God for sure.
Yeah.
I got to ask you a question. You got to just give me an approximate.
Yeah.
1976 to 2025. What do you think the venues and the gigs are that a Leondi or a Stella Raimondi and an Enzo Scarano have done? If you had to put a number on it, how many things you think it's in the 10,000 range?
Not 10,000, but it's a lot. It's a lot. During the first 20 years, we performed a lot. We really did.
Because you're talking basically I'm going to go 3.5 days a week in the heyday.
Yeah.
Plus,
we
you're
used to play.
practicing.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I grew with my members. I grew up with my husband. I'm very fortunate that he has the same passion of music he shared. He was in my band. My husband was with me 1976 in the band performing until 2006. So 30 years my band performed with me. My husband performed with me, and then he had to get out due to work issues as far as, we have two daughters, we have a house, and
Yeah,
the band, the weekends he couldn't come up because he used to come with the equipment. He had to set up all the equipment, and if he was working on a Saturday, he couldn't leave the boss and say, "Hey, I gotta go." I got to set up the equipment. So basically, then he had to get out. But yes, like you said, it was great. It was great experience. It was a lot of work. Let me tell you, sometimes a lot of
oh,
work, and sometimes we had like I said, this was a weekend thing. It was never really during the week. I mean, occasionally we played during the week. We would play for these Italian families that ventured out into different states. They used to own restaurants. They used to have their weddings on a Monday. On a
sure.
Monday. And and the guys, my band members, Green Bay, Oswego, down, where was it? Like I'm talking about a 4 or 5 hour drive. So the guys, we'd have to leave on a Sunday, get there on Monday, set up our equipment, do the gig, and return on a Tuesday. So they'd have to lose 2 days of work.
Two
So it
days
would
of
have
work.
the guys would have to be, it would have to be
Sure.
worth it. But they were very rewarding. They were very generous. I mean, as far as they wanted the band, they were very Italian. And basically, what I'm saying, sacrifices were made. We missed out on a lot too. We missed out in a lot of special occasions with the family because we
Yeah.
were booked 2 years in advance, and
I
then
mean, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there goes
yeah,
the whole weekend. You're
that's
back
it.
at your job at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Monday.
Exactly. So
Incredible.
yeah, exactly. We enjoyed it. We did enjoy it. Once we were on stage, we enjoyed it. But when it was getting to that gig, when it was special occasions or those events that were happening, like I said, the Fourth of July's and the Labor Days or whatever it was,
Sure.
it was like, but we had fun. I mean, the band had fun. I mean, we used to practice and it like at the end of practices, hey, I'm gonna make panzerotti tonight, and we'd stay till 10, 12 o'clock 12 o'clock at night on rehearsal nights, just enjoying our panzerotta. And we
Yeah.
had a good time. We had good times. We
Those
really
were the
did.
things that, made it okay after that practice. And let me tell you, Stella, I'm sure you knew when it was a good practice or a bad practice, when it went well or it didn't go well, correct? Because that all has to jive coming up for that Saturday gig, whatever it
Yeah,
was.
exactly. Well, like I said, we all had to listen to the music and learn our parts. Yeah, like I said, it was totally different. It was everybody, but it's beautiful. Once you're in there, once it's live, and once mistakes and all, it's still beautiful when it's
Oh yeah.
all live.
Yeah.
It-
It's
it-
live. It's yeah.
Right.
And
I mean, you're not dependent on that track. I mean, you're the boss. You're the boss. The band, like I was the boss. The band's gonna follow me. If I miss a beat, they're gonna follow me. No matter we're gonna hang on to the whole
right.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, yeah, again, I'm glad you broke it down this way because people who are going to listen to this interview, by the way, I want to just stop it for 1 sec here. We are visiting today with Chicago's star entertainer, in my opinion, as I open this up today, Stella Raimondi. Stella, who's been singing for
Thank you.
over 50 years. People don't see, the clientele doesn't see, okay, yeah, here comes Stella. And let's say now, of course, Enzo Scarano or Stella, when she had the band at that time. Oh yeah, here she is, 5 minutes to 5:30. That cocktail hour, she's just going to start singing. They don't know what you went through, like how you broke it down. That starting on Monday, we practiced for this venue. That's starting at 5:30 over here at the Empress in Addison.
Right. Right. Oh, God bless. Right. Love
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
we're going to play a game of 5 questions. Your time is valuable. I'm going to, because I wish I could talk to you for 2 hours, but this was very invigorating for me because I've always wanted to talk to you, known you since the
Yeah.
days of my dad and my mom. And
Oh, your mother and father, love them. Oh
yeah,
my God,
thank you.
father.
Thank you.
What a
See you at
fan.
those weddings, and it was
Oh my.
unbelievable. Yeah. And
What a
another
classy
family
man.
that truly, truly a lady that respected you and loved you. And now I'm part of this family because my son married their granddaughter, Romana and Angelo
Oh,
Caputo. They
Angela.
loved you like no
I
other.
love.
Romana, I think if Romana had something in her backyard, she'd be already had the cell phone out back in the 90s if there was one. Stella?
Romana Caputo. I can't tell you, unforgettable,
Yeah.
unforgettable. The events that she put
Oh,
together for her children. We played for all the Caputos,
yes.
the children's, all their weddings. We played for all their weddings. I mean, just I can't even. The Valentine's Day themes. There was one year. It was crazy. I mean, she had live flowers for party favorite, live orchids. When Kathy Caputo, it was her graduation. Okay,
Okay.
at Brunetti's on 22nd Street. When
Yeah,
Bruno
the old
Brunetti,
Brunetti's
remember
on,
Bruno
yeah, yeah.
Brunetti? They had the amazing food. We were their house band. We did their New Year's Eve parties. Even
No.
it was a small place, about 150 people. We were their house. The Leon performed for a lot of their New Year's Eve events. But I mean, incredible, incredible. But like you said, yeah, I loved Romana and Angela. Both of them.
Yeah, they'd always. I would, if I saw her, I go, "Who's the entertainment, Romana?" She says, "Devo chiamare a Stella."
Bravo.
So
Yeah.
you were booked already before you even knew
Oh
you were
yeah.
gonna be booked.
They booked us all the time. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to ask you that first question. We got 5 questions. We got to get to know you a little bit better.
Okay.
Besides mom and dad, somebody in the band, who are those maybe early mentors besides the parents and that you still think about to this day, that said, wow, they gave you a little bit more of that drive and determination?
All right. And I'm glad you brought this up because one of them is my brother Paul. My brother Paul always had his records, Beatles records on. I'm talking about 60s, in the 60s. Okay. So my brother Paul, with the music, basically,
Sure.
it brought that love of the Beatles and even Rolling Stones, all that, the American side. Okay. And another party is a woman. I was only 22 years old, 82. I started working at Capital Bank. And there was a 45, a woman that was, I didn't even know. She was 45 years older than me, 45 years older.
Yeah.
And she was next to me. We would be personal bankers. We would, and she loved whatever I loved. She loved to cook. I loved to cook. She loved to sing. Well, we would go out for our birthdays. And one day I went to her apartment. She was a widow. I didn't know she was 70 years old.
Wow.
I didn't know she was 70. But she was a singer when she was young. And she used to be the wife of a club owner, basically in Cleveland. So I get to her apartment and I'm looking in her house. And on the wall, she's in a booth, black and white photo. She's sitting with Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr.
Wow.
She's sitting at this booth with them. I'm like, Grace Aloisio was her name. She's beautiful. And I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, yeah, they used to come to my husband's club. And actually, I recorded a CD in 2005. And I put one of the songs she taught me. She taught me the song by, oh my God, it's a famous art songwriter, but it's Night and Day. Night and Day. Okay. Cole Porter, classic.
Okay.
Cole Porter, classic, Night and Day. And then that's another person who added to my, because she was.
It left you that lasting impression, right, Stella?
She left me that impression. She was a really glamorous Hollywood era. She and so basically, she would have been 107 this year, but just to say more than that, no, 109. But I mean, that's another person that as well. So basically, yeah, more
Those
people
two?
too. Those
That's
two
nice.
mentors. I mean, like I said, people in church, and then the priests that I would be singing at the mass with, and when he would tell me, one of the church directors at the mass, he would be at the church ogni domenica, and he would say, Stella, c'ha una bellissima voce, ma devi imparare di cantare. So, and I'm talking about, I was only 11, 12 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's a lot
I'm glad you brought those up.
Blessed.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I was very blessed. But the trust of my mom and the push, my mom was mainly that. It was my mom. Yeah.
That's beautiful. All right. What's that favorite movie that Stella Raimondi could watch 200 times and not get bored?
Believe it or not, it's The Wizard of Oz.
Okay. I love it.
I love it. I love Judy Garland. Yes.
And Stella, when we were kids, if you remember, it came on once a year and you waited for that movie.
I love The Wizard of Oz. I tried to put it on for my grandchildren. They wouldn't have any part of it. They're like, what is this? I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but what a movie. What a movie, right? The Il Colore, the music. Yeah, without a doubt. Okay. Question 3. It's that weekend and you want to go to that. What's the Stella Raimondi favorite restaurant to go with Reno? And you're going to be decked out the heels and you're looking way better than Gloria Estefan, which you are. What is the the restaurant you want to go
Well,
to in Reno?
it's not, I'm be honest with you, my favorite restaurant now is Pazza di Pizza. I
Oh,
have to
yeah.
say, it's my favorite. I love and they just present everything well, and I just love their food. And it's hard. I mean, we're very fussy. I mean, because
Okay.
we know we're very authentic. We cook well, and it's hard to please us. We're no spaghetti and meatballs people.
No, no, no.
You know what we are. We're really hardcore. Whatever we do. I mean, our culture, we live it every day, even in our cuisine that we make at home. So, I mean, I'm not going to get decked out for Patsy's, but that is my
That's
favorite
your
place for
restaurant.
me in
Okay.
Reno, and my husband loves it too. Yeah, that's my favorite place.
And
I
by the
mean,
way, I hear
there's a
you make
lot
a
of different
I hear
ones,
you
but
make a good focaccia. I hear you make a good focaccia.
thank you.
So you're gonna have to send
I
me
got
some
it
my way.
down.
Yeah.
I'm getting it down. I got it
Okay.
down. I got it down.
Okay. You've sung so many songs, but what is that song that really makes Stella move? You're one of your favorites.
Well, as
One or
far
two of
as
them.
I mean, as far as
Dance.
dancing wise,
Yeah. Disco
dancing
era
wise.
song.
Okay, dance wise, I have to say I used to love because I used to like the syncopation of the drums with myself. Would be Rhythm Is Gonna Get You. I like the dance part.
And
That's
that's
one.
from Gloria Estefan.
Yeah, that's from Gloria. That was one of my favorites that I would do because there was a lot of syncopation and you had to be in and out of it, and it was just like work between me and the drummer. I loved it. I'm a real sucker for a real good drummer.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
telling you. And then of course my slow song. I do love, and I still love to sing this song. And I'm sorry,
It's okay.
somebody's calling me. It's Oh, it's right now. It's You Don't Have to Say You Love Me. It's really one of my favorites to sing. By Dusty Springfield. Io che non vivo, io che non vivo.
Oh, okay, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
All
That's
right.
one of my favorites to sing.
Last question.
Yeah.
50 years. A lot going on, a lot of compliments. For me, you're legendary in this town because it's 50 years. 50
Wow,
years
thanks.
considered. When I put 50 next to something, it's legendary.
Thank you.
If you had to do it all over again, are you doing it all over again?
I would, in a heartbeat. I would. I really would.
Fantastic.
I really would. I must say I'm very, blessed. I'm still working. I still love to do it. And just all the way the pieces, came together to make my story. And like I said, nothing would go on without support of my parents and my husband.
Yeah.
And yeah, just having fun with it. I mean, people come up to me and say, Stella, why didn't you become a star? And why didn't you? I can't believe it. Why didn't you make it big? I'm like, I never thought of that. I just enjoyed I just enjoyed the ride. I just enjoyed this ride. I really did. It
You
wasn't.
had
It
a
wasn't because
passion like no other.
I just enjoyed the ride, and I didn't have to have my name in lights. It is, you know. Once again, my father and mother used to say, "Il vino buono si conosce."
Sí. Exactamente.
So it's just like, and it's just that's what it is. And it didn't have to be where I had to be precocious about it or anything like that. It just happened. And that's it.
I love that. A good wine. I'll leave you with this. My favorite song that you sang is Un Corpo e un'anima.
Oh, thank you.
Unbelievable.
Thank
Saw you sing it one last time. Well, the last time I saw you sing it was at Ricordi.
Ricordi. Yeah.
And if I ever am at a thing, I don't care if you're in a country bar in Western, you're singing it to me.
Thank you. I will. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And if I see it. Listen,
Thank you
Stella,
so much.
I want to thank you for today to come on a conversation with John Conenna. This is going to go out on YouTube and Spotify probably in a couple of days. We visited with Stella Raimondi this morning, a fantastic entertainer here in Chicago. And you promise you're going to keep doing this, right?
I hope so. Thank you, God.
You will. You will.
Thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for my gift and to be able to share it. I hope to share it forever, to the last. I hope
Thanks,
so.
Stella.
Thank you, God.
Thanks
for having me on. Love you. Love you. Take it easy.
Okay, we'll talk soon.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
This episode of A Conversation with John Conenna is sponsored by Generate. In today's digital age, staying ahead means harnessing the power of generative AI. Wondering how your small or medium-sized business can join this revolution? Look no further than Generate, your strategic partner for integrating cutting-edge generative AI solutions. We create personalized plans, adapting existing AI technologies to fit your specific business needs. Plus, our expert team provides essential training, empowering you to make the most of these innovative technologies. Interested in transforming your business with AI? Reach out to us at generateteam@gmail.com. That's generate, GENERAIT, team@gmail.com.